Hey, what's going on, everybody? This episode is going to talk about time management. So, a lot of times, young rookies don't know how to weigh what they need to do, what they should do when I do records. So, hopefully, I can clear some stuff up so that you're more into the know. So, the best time to always do records is always on a weekend. Close the doors. Nobody talk to you. During RLA time, after you show them different techniques that can make them successful, because you want them to be successful. Close the door and start working on one thing at a time. So maybe it's 341s. So let me tell you about 341s. I have two boxes for 341s. One box is where I file all my 341s, but only the juicy ones go in the Records Check 341 box. Now, why do I do this? I do this because it eliminates the fact that I have to keep going back in and checking all the 341s over and over and over again. There's no regulation that states that you have to file any 341s whatsoever. Now, I would still pull 341s. I'll still have them sign, or not sign, but initial their 341s. But the real good ones, they go inside that one. And then when it's time to make a case against whatever trainee you want to get recycled or whatever, bring them all out. So that's kind of what I do. Save you a little bit of time, effort. And then for like a records check, I like to do my records check with my teamie. So my team comes in a little bit earlier, comes in an optimal time where we can sit down for like 2 hours and we're just going over it. He's going through BMT or whatever system that BMT is using, and just bouncing off numbers. Like maybe it could be for like the 128 alpha, and you're just making sure that everything is good to go and your teamie is boom, 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 information flying. So I do this all on a Saturday so that I have optimum time for myself. Close the doors, play a little music, very softly while I knock the stuff out. I don't file waivers until the end of the week. Yeah, you got a waiver. Great. I'm not going to put in and do this like half-minute bull crap. 30 seconds to file. No. I file everything together so I know when I do the records check, everything is money. Some people, they'll highlight the corner. That's great. But if you do a records check, ignore that highlighting, because I'll come across highlighting like the corner, saying that it's good to go, and it wasn't good to go. They'll do the same thing with waivers too. If it's in the book, you might as well take a good look at it. So here's what I do for waivers. So I'll highlight 1P, which is physical training, your PT waiver, 1O, 1D, and 1S. There's only 1D and 1S anyway, but the P and the O, I'll highlight it so that whoever's inspecting my records knows that, hey, since this was highlighted, it's restricted or whatever the case is. That's why I put the PODS on the top of it, because each one of them are highlighted. So I'll go out of my way just to highlight why it's an O waiver, why it's a D, an S, a P waiver, or whatever like that. So that's what I do with my records. And it makes it a lot easier for anybody else, like my instructor supervisor or second chief, or whatever they call it, to look through my records really fast and be like, okay, this is definitely this. So they don't have to look for it. All they need is evidence of one, and that's all they need. And then when it comes down to the 128A, so whatever item failed, I go cross to make sure, because sometimes we miss the items failed gray box, and that tears us up and it messes up the merit count. So make sure, especially after you do your recruit living area PCs and appraisals, that you're going across to make sure that if you marked it as a merit, that item automatically fails. So, and that's how I save some time. So through the week, I'm worried about just the flight and the appointments, basically. I'm not worried about the record check to the very end. And if you don't put it into the system, don't put it in the book yet. If you put it in the book, you must put it in that system so it reflects, so everything's good to go. If you have time to do it during the week, that's fine. I just enjoy it to do it. I take my favorite pens, my favorite pencils or whatever, and I make sure that everything is money. Time management. If they're in class all day, it's also a good time to do records, provided that you walk the dorm, you did everything that you need to do before you do those record checks. Those record checks are not as important as making sure your dorm is set up and making sure that the dorm looks in inspection order. So just keep all this stuff in mind. For time management for my family, I'll come in late if I have a class and have my teamie do the, get them through chow and everything like that in the morning. And then once 09 rolls up, I'll roll up. And then he gets to roll off a little earlier, and I'll have both flights for a little bit or whatever like that until the tap outs come. So if somebody needs extra family time, or, hey, you just need to sleep, I'll ask my section chief, hey, section chief, we have class all day in the morning. My team's going to come in at 08 to do his MTIR. I'm going to get both flights through chow and going back and forth and making sure everything gets set up. You have a problem with that? Normal section chiefs go, as long as everything gets set up, I don't give a crap. Cool. Let's get it. And that's how you're able to sleep in. Or maybe after you do morning setup, throw the deuces up. They have class all day. If you're in a old school dormitory, you can prop the doors open and just be there if somebody needs anything. Why somebody has a little bit of family time with their wife. Maybe they need to make something up with their spouse to make things, a little bit easier. Maybe buy some flowers, birthday, something. So always look at the schedule, and you and the teamie across the hall, take care of each other. Hey, don't even worry about coming in today. I got it. Or come in and then get out of here. I got the flights for the rest of all the classes or whatever like that. It's easy. There's no application. It's easy. So take care of each other. That's what we used to do back in the days. Unless we were, even we were pushing one-on-one, because back in my days, we were pushing one-on-one. If everything's said and done, just go out to the BX or whatever like that. Let your section chief know what's up in case somebody decides they want to come back and they need something, like somebody needs to get recycled or something. You got to pack them up. Stay in the vicinity, but get out of BMT for a little bit. Kind of like, okay, cool. But make sure you have all the minimums done first. Just make sure all that stuff's taken care of. So hopefully that helped. I hope that you understand that once you put it in that box or put it in the binder, it needs to be perfect. Use some colorful highlighters or whatever that you enjoy or whatever like that. Mark whatever type of waiver it is to make it easier for the evaluator. And file those really good 341s that stands you can check out. And that's it. And keep an extra 341 boxes, put all of them in whatever roster number order, whatever like that. That's the whatever 341 box. But anything that goes in the big box, make sure it's perfect. Do it on Saturdays. This is what I do. All right. Until next time, take it easy.